All right, Shalom. I'd like to start up saying, Call Halayim La Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai, by Shem Harakak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and double honors to our elder apostles down here in the Lions Camp as well, Harawan Ban Yasha Allah. Salutations to the Arking that are pushing the truth, sincerity, and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. All right, I'm Khanak Sha'an Ban Yasha Allah from the Lions of the Yasha Allah camp. And it's gonna be a quick spiritual hydration. Like a few nights last week, I kept waking up and immediately, you know, my audio Bible would I would grab my phone and put my audio Bible on. I wake up in the middle of the night about 2, 3 in the morning, and I'll go to Psalms 22. And so, it's just what I'm saying. I'm gonna see where the spirit takes me. I'm just gonna dive into it to a little bit. This is gonna be a little spiritual hydration. Probably won't go through the whole thing. Um, just see what happens. The Lord willing this lesson to edify the servant's purpose for the hope of elect, the ones that truly believe in the name and how about Shema Shai. All right, this is Psalms 22 and 1. It says, my power, Yahweh, why hast thou forsaken me? Why art thou far from helping me and from the words of my roar and from the words of my roaring? All right, the words of the roaring is us sighing and crying for all the abomination that's done in the midst of Israel. But understanding that Israel is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So, we see wickedness in the midst of everywhere, you know. Well, let me get this real quick. Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4, it says, And the Lord said unto them, said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abomination that be done in the midst thereof. So that's why, the Lord he has some business to take care of before he can deliver us out of this hellhole, but he's going to deliver us. He promised. He promised, and he's not a God that he could lie. It's impossible for him to lie. You know. Okay. All right. It says back in Psalms. So like go through the midst of the city into the midst of Jerusalem. Like it makes it relevant today. Like Jerusalem was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. So to go through the midst of the civilization or the people that have the citizenship of Jerusalem, you're gonna have to go throughout the four corners of the earth. But you know, there's the elect all around the world sighing and crying for all the abomination that they seen done in the midst of our people. You know, as we sit out here and do these lessons on the highways and byways, you know, um, uh, letting people of the Lord know their transgressions and the house of Jacob their sins, roughly paraphrasing. You know, all right. Psalms 22 and 2 it says, "O my power, my God, I cry unto the day. I cry in the daytime, but thou hearest not." He hears us, but he operates on his own set of time. Why art thou so far from helping me, and from the words of my roaring? There's at one point in time, he had turned his back on us, and he was far from us, but now he's nigh to us. He's brought nigh to us through Yahweh Shai. Right? It says, verse 3, it says, But thou art holy. Right. Because Yahweh Shai Shai is holy. It says, O thou that inhabitest the praise of Israel. See that? So 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 he dwells in Israel, in Zion. That's the only place that Yahweh Shai Shai dwells is in Zion. So we cry to him daily for all the abominations that we see done day in and day out, right? But It may seem that he's afar off, but he's nigh. He made a way for him to come back nigh to us through Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, our fathers, verse 4, it says, our fathers trusted in thee, and they trusted, and thou didst deliver them. See that? It says, they cried unto thee and were delivered. They trusted in thee and were not confounded. And that's one of, a key point that I want to talk about real quick. And they were not confounded, man. So there at times I know we get overwhelmed and may seem the Lord is far off, but he's not. He's not. He always made a way for him to be close to us in any given situation. So um, no matter the amount of pressure that we feel from this devil, we all we always got to keep in mind that the Lord is going. It's not going to be right there. He is right there. He's right there. All right. This is Ecclesiasticus or the Book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in His fear and was forsaken? Or whom did He ever despise that called upon Him?" He ain't never despised nobody that called upon him in sincerity and truth. You know, the Lord got his. We just have to be patient. Patience builds character, you know, and that's what he's building. True righteous characters to honor and glorify his name. All right. It says, verse 11, it says, "For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction." And he's going to continue to do that every single time. He's a God of his word. He's a God of his word, you know. So he's very merciful and a God of long suffering, you know. So we just have to develop patience and wait on him. All right, so I'm gonna read verse Psalms 22 and 5 again to close it out. I'm probably gonna go through this whole chapter this week, but just break it up in little like small little hydration segments and just do it like that. This is Psalms 22 and 5. They cried unto thee and were delivered. They trusted in thee and were not confounded. Right. So as long as we put our trust in Yahweh Shemi Shai, we can't lose. We will not be confounded. And he promised to deliver us, man, and he's going to honor that promise. That's the same promise he gave to Abraham. And we are the children of the promise. Lord, willing this lesson to edify and serve his purpose for the hopeful elect, the ones truly believe in the name Yahweh Shemi Shai, without like say Kal Halayim. La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Harakak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and double honors to our elder apostle as well down here in the Lions and Camp. I hear one by Yasharallah. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth to sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children, men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. Shalom.